shadows where the secrets guard. True crime tales, she's the light, searching for lost souls in the night. Scrolling through the screen, she's on a mission, hunting for truth, igniting ignition. The whispers of the missing, she heeds their call. With a sharp tongue, she'll expose it all. Scrolling through the screen, she's on a mission, hunting for truth, igniting ignition. The whispers of the missing, she heeds their call. With a sharp tongue, she'll expose it all. Speak up for those who can't be found. Doodlebug.
Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to bring up Klein. He's our special guest this evening. Hey, Klein.
Hey, how you doing, Doodle? How's
I'm doing
everything?
good. So I found our friend Arctic Fox had actually went over Sierra, so I thought we would go ahead and play that too. And
Yes.
Fox, Arctic, you are more than welcome to come up if you want to. I sent you the link. I know we're playing your stuff, so you probably have some insight that'll make it easier for Klein also to kind of put the story out. So Klein, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and I will play Arctic's.
Yes, go
Sound
ahead.
good?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's do that.
What is going on, guys? This is Arctic Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into yet another cold case and shining the light on it. Today's case dates back to 2002 when a young lady named Sahara Thomas would disappear out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. And her family has never given up hope. Now, at the time that she went missing, Sierra was only 19 years old, and she would be 41 years old today in 2024. This is a very, very sad case, guys, and unfortunately, there's just not a ton of information on it. So, Sahara Thomas was known as Sweetie, and she vanished on the 21st of November 2002 after after her sister drove her to visit her daughter's father near the 800 block of North Maryland Avenue in Atlantic City, New Jersey. She was just 19 years old at the time of her disappearance and had her whole life ahead of her. She had told her sister that she would call when she was ready to leave, but her sister never received the call, and her sister reportedly stayed in the area for over an hour waiting on Sierra to call her. Reportedly, Sierra's boyfriend, whose name I'm going to just keep anonymous for the time being for his privacy, met up with her on the day of her disappearance. Now, he has always maintained that he does not know where she went after their encounter, and he has stated that she was accompanied by an adult male friend. She only had $33 in cash in her pocket at the time of her disappearance, and so she wouldn't have really been able to travel all that far without help from somebody. After she failed to show up to her job at a popular hotel and casino, Caesars, located at 2100 Pacific Avenue in Atlantic City, suspicions grew even further. Sierra was also enrolled in a course to obtain her high school diploma, which she also ceased to attend upon her disappearance. When she went missing, Sierra was wearing blue sweatpants, a dark-colored shirt, a scarf, and a black guest jacket. If alive today, she would be 41 years old. She did leave children behind, and she has a family that loves her and misses her dearly. It has now been over 20 years since she disappeared, and her family and friends are desperately seeking answers and closure as to what happened to their missing loved one. If you do have any information on Sierra or her whereabouts, you're asked to get in contact with the Atlantic City Police Department at 609-318-4450 and mention their case number 02-158598. Ask for Detective Charles Stewart when contacting, and you can also contact the FBI at 800-634-4097. Guys, this young lady has been missing for far too long. She's been missing for 22 years at this point. And unfortunately, like I said, it's one of those cases that really never garnered a lot of media coverage, and the case has gone cold. We need to shine a light on it. So do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Let's get Sierra's face out there all over social media. Let's generate some interest in her case and get her name into the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, consider clicking that subscribe button. It does help the channel out. And if you ring that notification bell, you'll always be alerted whenever I post another missing persons video. The most important thing that I need for everyone to do right now, though, is to simply click that share button. Share this to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, wherever you have social media. It only takes a moment of your time to do, and it can make all the difference in the world in whether we're able to find answers for Sierra's family and friends or not. As always, guys, I do want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Y'all be kind to one another out there, and I'll see you soon in the next one.
All right. What'd you think about that, Klein?
I thought that was awesome. I think
Yeah.
he did an awesome job covering that covering her case.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah. So I did ask him. I did send him the link. I didn't think he would mind since he did go through all the trouble to do that, and he is really really good about this. He does a lot of the cold cases. I'm not sure that he'll come up, but Arctic, you're more than welcome to. But do you want me to play the little podcast first, Klein, or would you rather just go ahead and try to tell them from your side since because you're like hands on here?
Okay, I'll tell him from this side.
Okay.
So basically, what Arctic was saying in the video of how she went to her youngest child's father. His name is Robert. Everybody knows this. She went to his house that night to see him, right? And her sister Stephanie said, let me know when you're ready. So she goes and does what she's doing. She paying her bills and all that. And like I said, she's waiting for that call for Sierra to call her and say, okay, I'm ready. She never called her. So she went back to the house, Robert's house, where he stayed with his mother at the time on the back block of Maryland Avenue. And she said, hey, where's Sierra? He said, oh, she was out there walking away with a guy. And Stephanie thought that was strange because why would she be out there with another guy when she came to see you? And from there, I think that was like on a Friday. So by that Monday, when she didn't show up at work or anything like that, that's when the alarm started setting in. And then that's when I think she was reportedly missing. And like Arthur says, uh, it's a heartbreaking case. She's been missing for 22 years. This case never got any attention at all, even though everybody sort of knows who has a hand in it and they know who she was last seen with. It hasn't gotten any attention at all. Like nobody has touched the case, and I find it kind of strange because this is one of the cases that could have been open and shut had it been properly investigated, but it just wasn't really investigated. So if you look into like the social on YouTube um or search engines, there's not really a lot of information on Sierra's case, but over the last few years since I've been posting and other people have been posting it too, more and more people have known who she is. And a lot of her friends who were sharing the story didn't know that was her mother until recently. And they were like astonished, like, oh my God, I've really been, covering your mom's case for all these years. I didn't know this was her. So it's like I said, again, it's unfortunate because she left behind two children, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. The 4-year-old's
Oh.
name is Sanai, and the 1-year-old's name is Mayana. Now, after she goes missing, her sister Stephanie is on this crusade, to try to find her. She posted missing person flyers. She's posted something about his house too. Him and his mother are taking these flyers down.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's not a red
why?
flag.
Yes,
Right,
big
right.
red flag, and they call the cops on and say, hey, they're harassing us, and so they tell Stephanie, you can't be hanging flyers on their door and stuff like that. So years later, he stayed in Atlantic City for like I'm gonna say 5 or 6 years more, and then he moved with her youngest daughter Mayana to Las Vegas, where I'm pretty sure he still resides. But yeah, he's the only person that's been an interest in the case. And when the police did question him, at first he acted like he wanted to cooperate, but then he refused to. He lawyered up and stuff like that, and he wouldn't take a polygraph.
He
So
wouldn't take a polygraph and
no,
oh, wow.
and
Like,
he
that's
lawyered up.
not a huge red flag, right?
Yes, this is a huge flag, and I really feel for the daughter because all these years, both the daughters, all these years, not knowing, who their mom is. The oldest one remembers her, a little bit, even though she was 4, but it really bothered her that she never got the relationship or got to know who her mother was.
Of course,
She,
and then not even get justice on top of
yes,
that. That's gotta be overwhelming, really.
and like I said before we started talking, I hadn't never heard a thing about the case either. I hadn't heard anything. I found the case, on Facebook like everybody else when I first started doing these cases, and I just got like very interested. I'm like, let me see if I can reach out to the family, and I reached out to them from that day. I keep in contact with them. I let them know when I'm doing new things, new podcasts, and new videos. They always give me their blessings. They thank me for continuing to keep on with the case. I told them I never stop. I keep until we
And
find
see,
out.
that's exactly how I am too, because we put our hearts in this, and Fox is the same way. Like, we put our hearts in this because there's so many that don't get coverage, and it's just not right. I mean, justice should be for everyone, not for just certain people. And we see that so much. It has to stop.
Right, and
Exactly.
also years later, after she went missing, this is when the rumors start coming out. Now, supposedly somebody said that they heard them arguing in the house and they heard a thud, like a gunshot. And somebody also
Oh,
said
okay.
it was different things, like different rumors coming out, like they carried her somewhere. And I know he lived closer to the water, but I don't think he would do that out there. The risk of getting caught at where he stayed at, but like yeah, somebody said it that he killed her in the house. But 22 years and still nobody has ever been found. And I don't
Right.
honestly don't I don't think anybody even really searched for her. They probably just like, okay, well, we'll search, but I don't think there was really a search for her, like no dogs or anything like that ever, come
See,
out of
that's
it.
so heartbreaking. I mean, come on. Ugh, mm,
And
it's just not right.
this guy, he has women to this day literally scared of him. You hear me? Because he was something.
Gotcha, gotcha. So
Yes,
what
yes.
kind of neighborhood is this? Because, like, I'm in the St. Louis area, so for me, I mean, it's common for us to hear gunshots. Is
hmm
it somewhere like someone knew that it was close and in that house, or could it just be gunshots in the area?
Well, see, that's kind of hard to say because I think, like I said, they didn't say anything till years later, and when they started saying stuff about years later, they just said they heard the thud, and the person who heard it, of course, they're not going to repeat it to the police. I don't. That's another thing I understand too. When people they have information, because I believe in my heart that somebody out there has the information of what happened to her. They just haven't come forward.
Well,
And
sometimes they don't come forward because it's not safe for them either, and
right.
especially that's why I ask about the neighborhood because
Well, it's an urban
from my
neighborhood.
past work, I saw so many that just couldn't they wanted to tell the truth, they did, they wanted to do the right thing, but they knew that they had a family to protect, and they couldn't.
That's true. That's true. That is true. But I just think that he knows exactly what happened to her, what he did with her. I just
Yeah, I
you
feel
al-
the
you
same way.
you always hope one day that people's conscience would get to them, and then they would come out and say something, because like I said again, these kids they're grown now, but they're still searching for a mother that they never had a relationship with.
Right,
Her
her
mother
mama
Exactly.
deserves justice,
and her mother's still alive too. I've spoken to her mother several times. She's still alive too. So they've never given up hope. They never give up hope, and I'm pretty
Thank
sure they're
God.
listening
That's
because
great.
I sent them the link. I sent the sister and the daughter the link earlier,
Oh,
so
good, good,
they're,
good,
they're
good.
either probably listening or they might end up tapping in and joining in. But
Sure, yeah,
um,
yeah, that would be great.
yeah, Sierra's case. I just hope that what comes out of this is that more people know about her case, and somebody over there in Atlantic City, New Jersey, decides, they hear this or somebody tells them about this case and they decide, hey, we need to take a second look at this case, because sometimes all it does is a second look is all it takes.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't count the number of cases that once detectives that are new to the case get a fresh set of eyes on the case. It makes all the difference in the world in making that case progress further and getting some justice done. So hopefully, between new eyes on the case and possibly someone, even if it's just one person that sees this, the right person sees it, they step forward with some information, and this family can finally get some justice.
Right? I wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have it any other way either.
Yeah, and they definitely deserve it. I mean, I meet so many families that are just, that they just don't understand what is it about their family that's not as important as the next family that gets all the coverage. And I don't have words for them. It's like, I, what do you tell a family like that except for I don't know, but I'm here for you. I mean, that's about all we can do. And this right here, bring attention, show their faces, share, share, share.
Yes, and like you always say, never give up, because I have encounters, some family that just don't wanna. They don't think anything will ever come out of it, so they do give up. But like you said, I always encourage everybody just to keep on holding on, keep that faith,
Yep.
because you never know that one day you may get that phone call that said, "Hey, we found your loved
Yeah.
one. We may not have found them the way you wanted to, but we found them. Or their
And
DNA matched up."
yep, and I think a lot of times when they quit, it's not that they want to. I think it's just they have to for their own mentality try to get some kind of closure. So I think that's why they kind of back off. But they want the justice, but they know for their own mentality and their own mental health, maybe they have to have that closure until it's confirmed. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, I know the mental strain it takes on us covering these cases every day. Could you imagine if it was your own loved one that you were fighting for day in and day out for 30, 40 years? I
Oh
mean,
God,
I can't even begin to imagine.
I'll try to put my shoes there. You can try to put yourself in those shoes, but you can't. You can't, because
right, right.
it's a total difference, because this case, honestly, Sierra's case is like really personal to me. I took this case on like it was, like she's one of my family members. So it
Sure,
really
we
there
do.
was
I do. Yeah,
there
we
was
do that too. We connect with our people, our missing people, because we wanna humanize them. We wanna be them, we wanna try to figure it out.
And there have days I've had my days where I was like, really sad about the case, and I'm just like, darn, I wish I really could do something. And I'm like, well, you're making a difference. You're getting her photo out there, you're getting her videos out there, you're getting her name out there. So, you're doing something. So it makes me feel a little bit better. But, you
Right,
know,
right,
it's just people don't understand sometimes when we're right, like Arkin said, when we're writing these stories, the mental strain. Sometimes we literally have to take breaks because these cases get to us.
Oh, you bet. Yes. And sometimes it hits you so hard you think you don't need a break until it hits you and you realize, "Wow, I've gotta step back a minute." Really.
Hmm.
Yes, because the mind can only hold so much before it, just bursts.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, do you want me to play this Vanished podcast there, Klein? Because
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
did a really good job.
Okay, yeah, you can play that.
Okay, alright.
This is around the first time. This is when I first started doing podcasts.
Well, I'm sure it went smoother than mine. My first live stream, I didn't even add myself to the stream, so I sat there talking to myself for over 2 hours
Oh
without
wow.
realizing that I hadn't added myself to the stream.
Sometimes it happens. Doodle okay there?
Working on something on her end.
Oh, okay, okay. I just had to make sure we didn't lose her. Okay.
Did you guys not hear? Is it not sharing? I think it wasn't sharing. Is it not
No.
No,
sharing up there?
nothing was sharing. No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, okay. Sorry, guys. Well, guys, I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong for the sound, but I'm not.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with the sound. I have it all the way up, but it's just not wanting to play. Well, I'm going to try anyway. We'll try to figure it out. Okay, guys, let me know if you hear this. I'm going to try to press play and hopefully it'll work. If not, I'm not sure what's going on with my with what's going on with that or why it's not playing. Can you hear any sound?
Barely.
Okay. Nope, it's as loud as I can get it too. Hmm. Is that any better?
Not really.
Well, Clyde, I don't think I might be able to get that play. It's not. I mean,
Hey,
I can play it, but you can't hear it.
that's okay. That's okay. We know.
I
That's
did
okay.
try though. I
That's
do have it
okay.
on my phone. I wonder if I could just play it through my microphone. You think that would work?
I don't know. You can try if you want.
Yeah, I could try. I mean, you guys did so well. I would hate for that to just go to waste because you guys worked so hard. Let me see if I can't go back and get that to play. Maybe it'll go play through that. I'm so sorry, guys. I guess we'll learn as we go.
Hey, hey, listen, it's okay, because at the end of the day, the broadcast is still about Sierra.
it is, and as long as we keep her face out there and we can share and share, we'll do the best we can. We'll get better as
Exactly.
we go, I'm sure. And if we don't, we'll just say we will.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will.
All right, guys, we're gonna start it this way. Hopefully, this will go better. We'll see how
Okay.
this goes.
All
All
right.
right, here we go.
Let's go. What's the name? Hello, how are you? How you doing? Okay, welcome to our Strange Disappearances podcast. Today, I have a couple special guests. Right now, we're joined by Zanaya. Zanaya's mother's been missing from Atlantic City, Jersey. Since when did your mom go missing?
I'm sorry.
When did your mom go missing?
She went missing November 21st, 2002.
Okay, so I'm reading that. November 21st, 2002. It says her sister drove her to visit. I'm sorry. Well, let me first. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm Clyde Williams, and this is our Strange Disappearance podcast. And today we're going to be discussing the strange disappearance of Sierra Sahara Thomas, who's been missing since November 21st, 2002. I came across this case a couple days ago when Nia, who's on the phone now, sent me her mom's case through my inbox, and I was blown away because I had never heard of this before. And this is the first time I've heard of this case, and I was instantly like intrigued, like what happened. So I'm reading here. It says her sister drove her to visit one of her who's she going to visit? Her boyfriend, or was it one of the kids' father?
It was the same person at the time. Her daughter, my little sister's dad.
Oh, you had to say that.
No.
Okay. She called. She said she had called with. She basically said she's gonna call your aunt. Her sister said she waited in the car for an hour, and she went nearby to pay some bills. She said, Sierra, she never called her, and she never been heard from again. And she was carrying $33 in cash at the time of her disappearance. Her boyfriend was the last person to see her. Now, okay, so what happened? What happened after her sister she didn't call or anything? Like, where did you go from there? Oh, sorry, Stephanie. Oh, hey, Stephanie, how you doing? How you doing? I'm sorry. Listen, I didn't even look at the screen that you had popped in.
No, I didn't know if I could.
So we were at the part where it said that you had dropped her off. So what happened after you dropped her off? I'm like, okay.
After I dropped her off, I sat there and I waited for her for a while. They were standing outside in front of his door talking.
Okay.
So while I was sitting there waiting, I get out the car and I walk up to his door where they were, and I told her to call me when she's ready to leave from there, and I would come back and pick her up.
Okay.
I went home after I paid my bills. I went home and I was waiting for her phone call, and she never called. And this was like going on like maybe 3-4 hours. So I went to the house to see if she went home. Two of her friends were there at her house, and I asked them, did she ever come back? And they was like, no. So when I went back around there, well, I didn't even go back around to his house. I called him on the phone, and he kept saying she left. So hours went by. I called back, and I just kept calling her house and his house, and nobody ever seen her, no more that day. And I'm like, well, if she only lives across the highway, all she had to do was walk from back Maryland back over to Carver Hall where she lived. And I'm like, well, I called him back and I asked him, I said, well, where did she go when she left your house. At first, he tried to tell me that she got on a jitney and was coming to my house. And I'm like, she wouldn't have got on a jitney because I know for a fact that he heard me tell her when she was done to call me so I could come back and pick her up. So I knew she wouldn't have caught a jitney because at the time I lived way uptown in the inlet. And she could have just walked back home.
Now, what's a jitney?
A jitney?
Mhm.
Yeah, the little green and white little short.
He's not from here, Auntie. He's not from here. So jitney is a transit. It's like a transit.
Oh, okay. Keep on. Okay, you carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they ride up and down Pacific Avenue, basically.
Okay.
So I said that she wouldn't have caught a jitney because I had a car and I told her I was going to come back and get her.
Right.
So when I called back again, his story changed. Now she was in the parking lot with 5 guys, he said, talking to them in the back of his parking lot, he claimed. So I'm sitting there saying, nah, I know that couldn't have been true because he was kind of a jealous type. He didn't even like her speaking to other people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then like the next day, a couple of days just went by. She still never came home, and the girls are like, no, it was like 4 days went by. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to the police station. I'm calling the cops. So he started telling me, I want to go with you. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm calling him and I'm like, I'm ready to go. Now he's like ditching my phone calls or, playing phone tag with me. He doesn't want to answer the phone. Just a whole lot of stuff. So I just went to the police station by myself. I reported her missing. Then I had to like tell my family, like, this is crazy. Like, they ended up giving us this detective who he was just lazy and didn't want to do his job. They always say, oh, we can't go by hearsay, but you have, people telling information. He's not doing nothing. So now I'm like, well, can, y'all.
Hello.
Aunt Stephanie.
She might have cut out real quick. Okay, she'll probably come back in. Dollars. This is crazy. This story. Like your mom's stories are like unbelievable. Like, so he was the last person to see her, right?
Yes, sir.
And so, did the police ever like question him or anything?
No.
And they
that's for my aunt to answer because I was only 4.
Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, they went to his house. And him and his mom, I don't know what they told them, but they claim that she just left their house. She has another daughter, and her youngest daughter, she is the father. He's the father to her youngest daughter.
Okay.
So somehow they ended up keeping the baby. My mom couldn't even get like custody or nothing. Like, we don't even know how they got custody. We don't know none of that. Like, that was just crazy.
I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of times with the father, all he got to do is say, "Boom, I'm the father," and then they just they don't do no background nothing. They just get a child to person, which I think is crazy.
Yeah. Yep. And then we they didn't even. The police was so trifling that my thing was I worked in the casino for 15 years.
Okay.
In security, and every day we have what they call bolos of missing people. So I had to actually make up my own with her picture on it, all her information and stuff. And I went to Kinko's, and when I gave the lady the flyer, they made almost 500 flyers for me for free. And they felt so bad, that we didn't have no kind of closure, no kind of information or anything. And they were like, well, usually the cops make these up. I said, yeah, we have lazy ones that didn't want to do their job. This guy didn't do anything. So I had to draw these up myself and put them out. So when we started hanging them up, we had put them all back Maryland. Okay. So him and his mom went outside and tore them all down. And then she called the cops on me because she said I put one on a pole in front of their door. She said that I was harassing her. So I'm thinking, when the cop called me and told me that she made a call to them and said that I was harassing her, so I asked the cop, I said, now, you gonna tell me that doesn't sound strange to you? I'm looking for my sister, my sibling, and because I put a flyer in front of her door where my niece is staying in their house, I'm harassing them? That makes sense to you? So basically, they don't care if my sister is found or not. Exactly. So they know something because they were there. You know what I'm saying? Right. That just didn't make sense to me. Mm. So, so now? What is it, like 20? Naya, how old are you?
It's 19 years.
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
so- who else is talking?
Jersey, 2002. She went missing. Yeah, around the same time. So how's the investigation been? Like, nothing. Is it open? No, they don't do anything now. It's just like it's just dead and gone. Now they did put her in the state database. Okay. So she is in on that. Now is her DNA in the system or no? Oh my God, I can't. It may be. Okay. Because I know they took DNA from my mother and myself. So it may be in there. So there have been no signs of her, no sightings, nothing? No. Never. Since that day. Wow. Because, like, it's crazy because people be knowing things and they don't say anything. Like, it's not right when these people are missing for 19, 20, something, 30 years. You feel me? Like, right. It's definitely not. So, and then that was the whole thing. Like, I think that some people knew and didn't want to talk because they were his friends and not hers. And, it's just crazy. So let me ask you a question. Did you guys ever do a search party? No, not really. The only thing we really could do is just question people in the area, stuff like that. At one time, basically the people that we were talking to, basically all of them had like the same story. Okay. Where they was telling, a few of them had like the same story that supposedly they heard a gunshot in his house and all that. When they went, the police went in there. By the time they decided to go in there and check, it was years later. So they claim it wasn't no evidence of her being. I didn't hear the machine either. What machine? Yeah. Yeah. So So how you thought about
like jumpstart calling and check with the detective? I mean, like, have you done that?
No, actually, the detective that was lastly on the case, he retired, and some new guy took over. He's never contacted us or anything.
Mm. You know what? I would pack them, and you know, because I mean, I can really spread this. I can spread this on any platform. I spread this. I like this 1,000 people probably this morning already alone. Because this, I'm like, I'm sure I've heard the stories, but to go from there, and then he says he don't know where, and something's up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was my thing. Like I said, the same exact thing.
It is,
but even the detective that lastly was on the case, he retired. So he said to us, he said, I believe that his mother knows something, and I believe he definitely knows what happened to her. They just couldn't prove it, and they said when they did question him, the first thing he did was ask for a lawyer.
Yes.
So I said to him, I said, now, if that was the very first thing he said out of his mouth when y'all questioned him, there is no doubt in my mind he did something to her. And now he's going to get away with it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I had to leave to come back because I was like saying stuff. I didn't know if you guys could hear me.
Yeah, I'm here. So how have you been, Jamal?
It's been a crazy, hectic journey. You know, it's definitely been crazy. As far as like what you asked, have we looked or tried? As far as me, I'm only 24 now, so it wasn't much I could do. I was only 4 when my mom was missing. But I do like look on databases online, like I try to see if her name pop up on anything or stuff like that. But it's not too much I could do because I don't know really where to start. That's why I actually reached out to you because I was like, when my grandma tagged me, and I'm like, oh, that's something I can reach out and make it get me somewhere. Like I do definitely.
Hello. A little bit. Right back in. Can y'all hear me? A little bit pop right.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you. All right, okay.
I hear y'all.
Your mother and father are alive at the time that she was missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so her mother and father was alive.
Naya's?
No, mother and father.
Oh, my mom. Yeah, my mom was.
How?
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. My mom can't even talk about it. Like she just had to put it in God's hands because that's what we all had to do.
Right.
No closure, no nothing. So, and we walk around here and I believe people here in this city know. I think they know. They just never gonna talk about it.
Until something happens to somebody,
Actually, until it happens to somebody in their family,
they'll talk.
They're not going to talk about it. And I used to say it all the time. Like, I'm 56. So I walk around here and I just think that, I always say, like one time I did a Facebook post and I told them, whenever I post about my sister, I always say, may God have mercy on the souls who knew and didn't open their mouth and say anything. Because
Sorry,
will
guys.
never understand what our family is going through until it happens to somebody in your family.
It's true. It's true. This podcast, I just saw that for brother got killed, and while other brother got so this is how I just went. I'm having a new flyer made for her. We got it about an hour or so. Somebody doing it for me right now as we speak.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Stephanie, tell us what kind of person your sister was.
Oh, she was a sweetheart. My sister was quiet, bother anybody. Like she worked. She had her own apartment. She took care of both of her kids. She was a very good mom. You know, we were real close because um, big age difference, and I practically helped raise my sister. So we was tight as two buttons in a little t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? We were real close. So I took her everywhere she needed to go. She never had to want for a ride or anything because I was always made myself available to take her food shopping. We always had morning breakfast every morning. Like after I would drop my kids off to school, like she'd call me, "You on your way? I cooked the breakfast." So like, I'm on my way. I'm coming. I'll be there in a minute. Yeah.
Daughter, do you talk to?
Yes, we keep in touch with her.
Okay. How whole thing?
Well, she was only one.
Right.
in her mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she really doesn't have too much recollection, but we do talk about my sister from time to time. Like we always showed her pictures, so she always knew about her.
Okay.
I don't know. We don't know like what that side of the family has told her, and it's so sensitive to us that we don't we try not to bring it up. Like we just don't talk to her about it because we don't know what they told her. And
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at that. I know that she had dropped down, Klein, and I'm
Yeah.
sure she dropped down because I'm sure that was painful to hear.
Right.
So if she wants to come back up now that it's over with, you're more than welcome. I apologize. I had just noticed when you had dropped off, but I didn't want to interrupt the podcast. But please, if I'm sure that was painful for her, and I feel terrible for that. But if she would like to
It's,
come back, she's more than welcome to.
yeah, I just sent her a message while we was doing it and told her to
Okay.
pop, to
Yeah.
pop back in. But no, actually, you're okay because I'm actually glad that people got to hear that from their own words, especially the sister. Okay,
Yeah.
because that's the one that
Right.
actually dropped her all, and now we're here 22 years later, and it's we're still at a standstill.
Right,
Like
right. So
what
do
is
we have any theories? Like, what do you think, Arctic? I mean, you do this so much every day, all day. I mean, what do you think? He might be busy. He multitasks a lot.
I mean, I'm with the family. That guy is the most likely suspect, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I mean, that's where she was last seen, was at that house. That's where they have people that supposedly heard these gunshots and everything, is close to that house. So that's how they've not ever been able to charge him. Of course, it doesn't sound like much of an investigation was ever really done to begin with. So.
Right, right. And do we think that that they did not do a search party because of the area? Maybe were they not trained, or do you think these officers just thought maybe she ran off and would just come back and then just didn't care? Because I see that so much. It's heartbreaking.
my theory is that they thought that she probably ran off, and being a family that of course they never been through this before, so
Right.
they probably didn't know what to do, and they probably didn't have the resources at the time to get her flyer out there. Like the sister said, she had to go to Kinko's and get some flyers made, and I'm giving her more So that's probably like the only resource she had to, to
Yeah, and
pass
you
it
know
out.
how sad that is because we see that a lot. Like in our chat right now is Barb, and Barb is fighting for justice for her son. And do you know she prints off all her flyers, does everything? They never once
Wow.
offered to do that for her. So that's what I mean. We've got to get better as a community, as humans, to help people. Just because we don't know them doesn't mean that we can't help them and try to save a life here. I mean,
Exactly.
and if we can't
Exactly.
save a life, let's help a family get some closure, and these people deserve to come home. If not in the best way, at least they get closure in a proper way.
Well,
Yeah.
and at bare minimum, these law enforcement agencies should be telling people about the resources like MPIA, the Aware Foundation, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that are out there to help get these spaces circulated. I mean, that's the least they can do if they're not going to help with the cost of some flyers or anything like that, because there's so many resources that are available to families that they just don't know anything about because law enforcement never tells them.
Right, right. Thank you for coming back. I'm sorry that you dropped down. I know it had to be hard for you, but I'm so glad that you came back.
You heard Mike?
Of
Oh,
course.
okay,
Hi, how are
hey.
you?
Oh, I apologize. I know that had to be hard.
It's okay.
So this is Sierra's oldest daughter, Sanaya.
Okay.
She was 4 years
All right.
old.
Oh, she was only 4. Okay.
Yes. So this is Doodle. This is her platform right now. So Doodle, you go ahead and ask her. What you think you need to ask.
Okay. Well, at first, I want to welcome you up here. Do you have anything that you want to add on since we did the podcast and all that? I tried to make it a little easier so you guys didn't have to explain it and relive it every single podcast or show.
Of
Um,
course.
but but feel free to say whatever you need to, and I'll mute so you can have the floor.
No, it's okay. Like I told him before, I was only 4, so I really don't know much and I was shielded from a lot till I was older. So I just, know what I feel in my heart. I always like to tell him I want to thank him for the podcast and bringing my mom's case back to light. He's always been like a helping hand to me when I felt like our back was against the wall. Just like my aunt said, like when the police didn't help us and things like that, he's really been like an angel, and he's always been there. He don't give up on me. Even times when I'm like weak and I feel like I can't do it myself, he's always in my corner. But as much about the case that I could say, I just like I know there's a lot of things that were said that's on other people's end that's not true and they don't want to help us. I really don't have a lot to say. I just know everything that I was told. Some things is true, some things was lies. So I just listen to my family and I just want justice for my mom.
Of course, and you know what? You deserve that, and your whole family deserves closure. You guys have to heal at some point, and until we can get her home, I'm sure it's hard for you to get that closure ever. There's always that missing piece.
Yes, ma'am. I just be like, I got the what if thoughts, like. So it's just like we do want closure, even if it's something that I don't want to face or hear or come to the conclusion that it is what it is and it's not. I really just would like to know
So you
something.
can yeah, so you can properly heal because all this time, I just don't feel like you have been able to properly grieve or heal or any of it, and if she is fine, then thank the Lord she's home, but if not, then at least you can have something to make yourself have a little bit of closure and make it proper, a proper place.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know. I wish that we could do like more DNA things and stuff
Well,
like that to
she's a
figure
NamUs.
out.
Did you give your DNA, like, if she 'cause she should be a NamUs, right, Klein?
Yeah, she should be a name if she's not.
Okay.
Well, that's another thing I asked before. I think I asked her out that she had DNA. Um, I think y'all should do it again because I'm not sure
Yeah.
back then if they did. Because back then they were sloppy with it, so that DNA could have easily been discarded or anything because, like you said, they didn't care about the case. So now I'm also curious to see what kind of case file they have on her, if they have one at all.
Right,
Exactly.
because now, they have all this new technology. Look what they're doing now, so you never know. I mean, really, I would try that. I would definitely be pushing that.
Yes, yes, I think that would be the next step too. So we'll somehow get together and do that. Maybe I'll get some help offline and we can set that up and we we can do that because
Yeah, yeah.
that's a key key component in everything.
Of course. I'm always down for whatever you want me to do.
Right, right,
Oh,
and you basically you've always been like patient too. Like I'm not really patient, but you've been like I'm glad you've never given up. I'm telling you, I always tell you that no matter you may not hear from me for a little bit, but your mom was always on my mind, always.
well, Klein, I respected you yesterday, but I respect you more today because after this, it's like you have been their angel, and I mean, we as a community have
He
to
has
thank you for
honestly
being a good
been.
person. That's great. That's amazing. We need more good people, definitely in this world.
Absolutely.
Klein, do you have anything else you want to add? I don't want to end this without you guys feeling that you've said everything that you need to. So feel free to say whatever it is you need to do, whatever you need to say.
Just say her name loudly,
Mhm.
like, share, share her story everywhere. Let's get something said. Let's get something. Let's listen. If we got to call the Atlanta City Police Department. Get her case back rolling. I hope somebody out here sees this and gets this ball rolling because it's been too long, and we need to definitely bring her home.
That's right, definitely. And I mean, put yourself in this lady's position. She's missing, and her family or her family's begging for anyone to just listen, to share anything that can bring their mom home. It may not be the best outcome, but they still need that closure. So please share those flyers. Like, subscribe, not just on my side. Please go over on Klein's, any side. Anybody that's trying to do this for the right reason, hit that like, share that flyer because you never know. You may actually be that one that can help a family get some closure. Arctic,
Yeah,
do you have
And
anything
if
to
you're
add?
not the one, then the right person may see this because you shared it out. That's what
Absolutely.
there's strength in numbers. All we can do is talk in front of a screen. It's you people that come to our chats, the members of our channels and everything that are the real heroes that share this out, that get it in front of as many eyes as possible. So,
Absolutely. Without them, we wouldn't even, we'd be up here talking to one another, getting nowhere. So without you guys, we couldn't do it for sure.
exactly.
All right, Klein,
And
is there anything else?
I'm not gonna stop until we
Oh,
bring her home.
great, great.
There's no other objective just to bring her home. And
That's good to hear.
I'm
That's
gonna
great, and
be I'm
I wish you all the very best. I do think that this will eventually come to a head, and I hope that you guys get the justice that you well are you deserve. Definitely. All
yeah.
right, guys. Well, I want to thank everyone in chat. Do we have any questions in chat? Because I don't want to end this. There might be some good questions here. I can't always catch up with them.
Okay.
I don't see any. Guys, do you have any questions you'd like to ask them? A voice for the lost says that is it Senia? Is that it? I don't want to pronounce it wrong.
It's okay. It's Sanaya.
Sanaya.
Sanaya, that's even prettier. I really butchered it up.
Thank you.
Sanaya has always been so strong through all of this time. Oh,
Hmm.
yep,
I'm
yep. So
looking at the chat comments. Thank you guys.
yep, and anything that's bad in any of these chats, and Klein, I think will be the same way. Is we just won't have it. If there's any disrespect in there, we'll boot them. We won't fool with them because we're here for the people, for justice. We got to bring these people home. So
And
please
as
feel
far
absolutely.
as
free. Feel free anytime. And Klein, I'm sure I'm sure Arctic would love to have you up there. And there's several other people. I'm not the only one. There's so many that
Yes.
will hear your voice. I promise.
Yes, get her, yeah, we're gonna get her face out there,
Yes,
even more people,
definitely.
I think when we first started, I want to add this when we first started,
Hmm.
um, her picture wasn't circulated like that. You feel me? You probably see, I forget, I think I probably saw it once. Once we started
Yeah.
posting this flyer, this picture has been everywhere. Even I was telling you earlier, some of her friends didn't know that this was her mom, whose story that they were following. Am I right, Sanaya?
yes, some people didn't
Oh,
even know that's my mom.
how
Yes.
sad is
So
that, right? Oh my
yeah, so
goodness.
now the story is getting out there more. I want to do, I want to do even more. Because
Sure.
you
Yes.
always feel like you can do more. So
Yep.
going
Yep.
forward,
And
we're gonna do just that.
yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, I will end this. I will play this weird little outro. I'm new to this, so if it messes
Okay,
up,
all right. Well,
it could.
Sanaya,
Also,
It
thanks for
thank you,
coming on.
Doodlebug, and thank you, Arctic Fox. Also, thank you so much.
You're
Yep.
welcome, honey. You're
Well,
welcome up
thank you
on
for
Mark
being
Leonard
here.
anytime. You're more than welcome anytime. Okay, I'll play this and hope it isn't a train wreck. But thank you guys so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.
Okay, you too.
Does anyone out there even hear the cry? Does anyone out there even notice as we die? I'm just a voice in the wind, but I keep on screaming 'cause someone's missing. I won't stop dreaming. Maybe it's just a whisper, a faint voice in the storm, but I'll be the beacon, the light that warms. I'll walk the streets, I'll pound the pavement until we find them missing and stitch the world back in. Does anyone out there even hear the cry? Does anyone out there even notice as they die? I'm just a voice in the wind.
This was an awesome show. I really enjoyed myself.
Thank you. I'm so glad that we got to do that because I
I,
think we made a little progress.
hey, Dodo, I think we're making a great team already.
Yep, yep. And I think it's because we care so much.
Yes, we
It's
do.
caring. It's a caring thing, and you have to be in this for the right reasons.
You do. And I want to let everybody know that, believe it or not, me and Doodle put this show together in 10 minutes. Probably less than that.
I know, and I'm new to this, so I
Hey,
know I
listen,
really boogered some of the stuff up. But hey,
listen,
we
it's
did it.
okay.
So
It's okay.
we're,
Lisa was
yeah,
like,
we'll
oh my
learn.
God.
We'll learn as we go. But
We
everyone have a
sure will.
wonderful night. Thank you
Yep.
so much, and let's bring these people home. They deserve
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Good
Good
night,
night. Yep.
guys. Good
Okay.
night. Thank you, Klein. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Does anyone out there